So what we got right here is a truck set with a TMX brake system, but we're not going to talk about the brake system. We're just going to talk about the truck set. So pretty much a truck set is comprised of one bolster, right? See the bolster? And the bolster, it's got a platform on top of it, and the bolster goes perpendicular to the length of the car. So we have one bolster and two side frames, right? One on that side, one on this side. And you can see that the type of truck set it is. It's a Barber S2 HD. This is the side frame class. And you can see the tonnage on the side of the car, 125 tons, right? So you got the one bolster, and then you got the two side frames. You got two wheel sets, right? You see L4, left 4, left 3. So this is axle 3 on the left side. On the other side, you'll see R3, and then you see R4. And right here, you have the bearing. And we're not going to talk about the anatomy of the wheel, but this is how you can identify the tonnage of the truck set, because the 7x12 it goes to the 38-inch wheels, which in turn is used on 125-ton trucks. Likewise, 6.5x12 would be 36-inch wheels, and those would go on 100-ton. And then the 6x11 is 33-inch wheels, and those would go on the 70-ton. End locations takes the 33-inch wheels or the 70-ton. So two side frames, one bolster, and then you got springs right here. You got two different types of springs. You have the general load springs, right? And then you have the control springs. And the control springs, they seat, the friction casting sits on top of the control springs, right? And these are 915 friction castings. So every truck set has a friction system, friction castings, or what we call friction shoes, slang on the rail, friction shoes. And then right under the friction shoes, you'll have the control springs, and all of the rest of the springs are identified as load springs. Right under the bolster, you can see right here, this is a bolster pocket slope wear plate, right? And that's welded to the bolster. Right here, you have the column guide. Friction wear plates, that's a slang for it, but it's a column plate, right? And it's held together by a weld on the top. Now there's no weld on this side, so these will be easy to change out. There's a weld on the top, and then a weld on the bottom, right? But then also you have two bolts right here, right? They're snap-offs. Like you'll get a 1-inch socket for the back, and then a 5/8 socket right here. And you get an impact gun, and then just drill it in. You can see right here, it just snaps off, so it's flush. So it's got the two securements, and it's got the weld on the top and the bottom. Then right here, you have a roller bearing adapter, right? Roller bearing adapter, and that seats on top of the roller bearing. On top of the bolster, you have the side bearing platform or the bolster saddle. So the name is relative depending on what you're using as a reference. Are you using a side bearing as a reference, or are you using the bolster as a reference, right? So the two names are side bearing platform or bolster saddle. Then you got an articulated unit. So this is a SAC1 articulated connector, and it joins this well to this well, right? So that's the truck set. Then you have 18-degree brake beams. These are special brake beams, right? Because the cylinder mounts, let's see if we can get in there. You see right there, the cylinder mounts to the brake beam, to the compression member. It's two 15/16 bolts, and you got to secure it with locking nuts because it's considered an air part. So the cylinder mounts to the brake beam. Most of the time, the cylinder is just mounted to the bolster or to a lever that's mounted to the bolster. But these are special brake beams. You can see it's identified with a number on the side. See 18 degree. The 70-ton, they use the 14 degrees. So that's the basics of the truck set. Friction shoes, column guide, load springs, control springs, bolster saddle or side bearing platform, wheel sets, roller bearing adapter. Oh yeah, and roof liners. Those roof liners, they clip on pedestal liners. And look, all the information is on the side of the car. You have 38-inch wheels, right? 7x12 with 7x12 roller bearings, and then you have the type of shoes, right? BNSF usually uses the high friction composite shoes. Then you have how many of the outer coil, how many of the inner coil, and how many of the inner coil. Those are like the so it'd be 3 layers of springs, right? And then you see the cont springs, control springs, right? And these are the type, right? This is the classification of the springs. So all the information is on the side of the car. It even says what type of brake beams, T-Mex brake beams, which is a weird name because you can also mount a UBX cylinder to it. So, but that's the basics of the truck set. Oh yeah, I completely forgot the side bearing cages. So this is the side bearing system. It tells you this is the 3rd generation 45 LTs, and these they use the red element blocks. So you have 60 LT, which uses the blue element blocks. You have 45 LT, and it's on the side of the cage right here. It's kind of faint. You can't really see it in like mud, but take my word for it. And then you have the 30 LT that uses the green element blocks. So it's 30 is green, 30 LT is green, 45 LT is red, and 60 LT is blue. And when you're identifying the which element blocks or what's the rating system for the side bearing cages, when you look at the intermediates are always rated lower than the end location. So if this is 45 LT, right? 45 LT, the red ones, then without a doubt the 70 ton will use the blue, which is normal. 70 ton uses the 60 LT. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, yeah, right here, 60 LT. And also the 3rd generation. The 4th generation you can tell because the cage cap, this sucker right here, it's you can see the element block underneath. And as you can see, this is a different type of truck, but we'll cover that in a different video, the different types of truck sets. So yeah, that's the basics.